Australia's formation began around 4.4 billion years ago during Earth's early history. The oldest known material from Australia is a 4.4 billion-year-old zircon crystal from the Jack Hills in Western Australia. The first continental crusts began forming. The Yilgarn Craton in Western Australia is one of the earliest and most stable pieces of continental crust, forming around 3.0 to 2.5 billion years ago. The Pilbara Craton, also in Western Australia, formed around the same time and contains some of the Earth's oldest rocks. These ancient cratons formed the core of what would become the Australian continent. Between 2.5 billion and 541 million years ago, Australia's landmass continued to evolve during the Proterozoic Eon. Australia was part of several supercontinents, including Nuna, Rodinia, and Pangaea. Around 1.3 to 0.7 billion years ago, the supercontinent Rodinia began to break apart, influencing Australia's tectonic history. The Centralian superbasin formed during the Neoproterozoic, covering central Australia with sediments. During the Paleozoic era, Australia was part of the supercontinent Gondwana. The Cambrian explosion around 541 million years ago led to significant biodiversity in Australian seas. The Tasman Fold Belt system formed on Australia's eastern edge during the Paleozoic, creating mountain ranges. Large coral reefs developed in the Devonian period in areas now part of Western Australia. During the Carboniferous period, parts of Gondwana, including Australia, experienced glaciation. The Permian saw extensive coal-forming forests in what is now Eastern Australia. As Gondwana began to break apart, Australia's geological history entered the Mesozoic era. Australia began to separate from Gondwana during the Jurassic period, around 180 million years ago. The breakup continued with rifting between Australia and Antarctica around 80 million years ago during the Cretaceous period. Australia was an isolated landmass. Australia's climate shifted from wet and lush to more arid as it drifted northward. The Eocene epoch saw the emergence of Australia's unique flora and fauna. Australia's landscapes were becoming more recognizable with the development of deserts and grasslands. The Great Barrier Reef began forming in the late Miocene, around 6 to 8 million years ago. During the Quaternary period, Australia experienced cycles of glaciation and warming. Australia was home to megafauna, which began to disappear around 46,000 years ago. Indigenous Australians are believed to have arrived on the continent over 65,000 years ago. Sea levels fluctuated significantly during the Quaternary, shaping Australia's coastlines. The Pleistocene saw the final stages of Australia's formation, with the last ice ages influencing the landscape. The Tasman Sea opened between Australia and New Zealand around 85 million years ago. The Bass Strait formed, separating Tasmania from mainland Australia around 10,000 years ago due to rising sea levels.